Hello and welcome to our latest launch. We're so excited. We are launching this fabulous book, I See You in My Dreams, by Laura May, who is the author of The One Woman that we released in August of 2022. So we are very excited to release her sophomore book, her second book, and her third book comes out in April. So she has a very busy year ahead of her. So we're very glad to have you here, Laura. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. This book is amazing. So it is called I See You in My Dreams. It is one of those books that sticks with you. So you really want to read this, get this book so you can read it over and over again because it's going to stick with you. The characters stuck with me well after I edited it, and it's just an amazing read. So I really want to talk about the genre of the book. So this genre is different than what Laura's previously put out. So it does have some LGBTQ in it, but it is very much a women's fiction literary novel, more than a true romance, because there's so many twists and turns and other things in this that are not a true romance that really makes it intriguing and really grabs onto you, makes you want to keep reading. There are two timelines in this. So how did you navigate that when you were writing two different timelines in this story?
Actually, it was pretty easy because from the beginning, I knew that Cassie's life will fade. She'll be gray and uninteresting compared to Sophia's life. So I think for me, it was more Sophia's stories than Cassie's in the beginning. So it wasn't about two timelines, but one for me.
I can see that. I can see that because a lot of it is Cassie living Sophia's life in her dream.
Yes.
And her life, yeah, like you said, kind of fades away. But then we get to a point where Cassie's life comes to the forefront.
Yes. And it will have, I don't know what to say, not to spoil it. Yes, but I don't know how to explain it, but I wanted to not to show the similarities, but you kind of see it later. But it's difficult to explain without spoilers. So yes,
that's very true. It is very difficult to explain this book without spoiling too much. There's so much richness in it about the characters and about how you wrote about Sophia's life.
Yes, and I love Riga. I visited a lot of times, and the city still holds the vibe of maybe 100 years ago. So the city was inspiration. Actually, it started with I was walking on a trail, and I imagined a room, and it had a narrow bed and not typewriter, but written journal. And I thought, it's definitely Riga, and it's definitely 1920s.
Yes.
So that's how it started. It started with a room, and then I put Sophia in there, and then Cassie. So yeah, it grew from one room for me.
I like how the inspiration was a room and not so much an event or a person. That's really a great way to start the story.
Yeah.
Yes, I really like that. Well, we do have some viewers logging on. So if you are viewing from Facebook, please write some comments and any congratulations or any questions. We will ask your questions to Laura as we go along. So please put those in the comments and we will get to them as they pop up on our screen. So I am going to give everyone a sense of this story. I'm going to read the beginning of chapter 7. I couldn't stop thinking about that man from Sophia's life. I daydreamed about him while writing term papers, trying to focus on the task. My heart hitched every time I saw blonde boys in the mall, almost circling them to see their faces. It was irrational, I knew. My dreams were a past reality or the imagination of my bored mind. But I couldn't stop going back to the moment when Sophia met him, how his eyes grazed her face. Hers, not mine. I kept repeating to myself. I felt that Sophia was mildly interested in him too, but my mind went crazy. I rushed to bed every evening, but I found out that I couldn't go to sleep earlier than 11. and my dreams came at the same time every day. I couldn't conjure them earlier. Sophia was much better at this than me. If this man moved next door to my house, I would be running to get matches from them myself. Her days crawled like they used to before the incident. She read in the park, she helped Elena. Only once did Sophia mention him in her journal, saying that the family moved next door, her heart hammering in her ribcage when she was putting the words down. Lorraine finally met Paula, and the next day I heard all the details. The video didn't show her real beauty, you know. When I saw her, Lorraine said, holding a latte in her hands, it was like my reality shifted, highlighting her, and she was radiant. All day we accidentally grazed our hands, and in the evening, right before she was leaving, she leaned in and kissed me. And damn it, it was beautiful and hot. She's like the first ray of sun at the sunrise, lighting me from inside. I looked at Lorraine and squeezed her hand. I'm so happy for you, I said. You make it look so effortless, you know. We always said that the relationships were too much work, and now I see you, and I want it too. Lorraine hugged me and whispered in my ear, you'll have it. Look at you. You're gorgeous. Thanks, I laughed, my mind shifting to those green eyes. That just gives you a glimpse into the life that Cassie has when she's living that life that she has with Lorraine in the present, but yet she has all these dreams of the past that are really dominating her mind.
Yes, yes. And I wanted to explore what it would feel to fail for someone you never really even met in your life, and she was falling for a man from her dreams.
You can really see that, and then that makes much more sense later on, not to give a spoiler, but much more sense later on when Cassie's life comes to the forefront and the events in her life happen. You can see why she did what she did.
Yeah.
So that's a great connection there. So what you said that the inspiration was the room. Was the setting then the easiest thing for you to write about?
Setting was actually quite simple because, as I said, in the Riga you can see the old times. But for me, difficulties were showing the life of 100 years ago. For now, you can't imagine what they even did. Now you wake up and you open your smartphone and just scroll, or on Instagram or something. Yeah, and what did they do 100 years ago? So I think that was a little bit difficult to imagine for me because I'm not really a historical person. But I think I managed to show.
Did you have to do some research for that?
Yes, I googled old photos, and especially I was there is a scene when they use a tram in Riga, and I was just, how did it even look like 100 years ago? So yeah, I researched a little, but I didn't dive into details because I'm not a historian. Just let your imagination fly.
And you got a lot right from I think from the American side, even when they came over to America, and that whole scene that was very alive with mobsters and things like that of the day.
Yes, it's easier because it's New York.
Yeah.
There's a lot of films about New York of the time, gangsters, mafia. You can imagine it. But what about Latvia and Riga? It's not so well known. So yes, New York was easy to write, and I just imagined myself during the time 100 years ago. How would it feel? And I think it would be great to visit it if possible.
It was definitely an interesting time, and very different than it is today. So we have more people joining us. So if you would like to leave a comment down below in the comment section, we will see that here on our screens, and we can share congratulations and also any questions you may have about this book or any of Laura's books. So I don't want to give too much away, but there is one topic in this, and just the idea of reincarnation. Is that something that you believe, or something that you wanted to put in this book, or did that just come about because of how you were writing? Was that an intentional thing to put?
Yes, it was intentional, and I want to believe in reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was initial idea of Sophia and Cassie, their connection. So
And their connection is so important to this story, that their lives are so connected, and that was what really drew me in. But I can say that I loved Cassie at the end, but Sophia just grabbed me from the beginning.
yes. It was the idea just for Cassie to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a great reason. I mean, this cover is gorgeous, but
Yes,
just to
I
read
love
this
it.
for Sophia and see how her life is played out throughout this book, that stuck with me for a really long time, for multiple weeks, because you are so immersed in her life and in her story through this book. It just really touches you, and it's something that you carry with you and that you think about.
Yeah, and I think her story can happen even today.
Yes.
Yes, because yeah, you need to read.
We're not going to say why, but there are parts of her story that are still happening today. Yes. And it's something that people need to read and really think about. I think it's a very thought-provoking book as well. There are some triggers in this book that people need to be aware of, but it's a must-read. It's such a well-written book, and I just love it.
Oh, thank you. I love the story. Yes.
It's a very good story. So I am going to read another excerpt while we're waiting to see if anyone's going to plop a question down. So we are at the end of chapter 11. Okay. When she quietly closed the apartment door behind her, Daniel reached her in 2 strides, pressing her close to him, lifting her chin and finding her lips. He kissed her, salt of her tears a bitter reminder between their tongues, and she broke in his arms. His smell was engulfing her, his warmth, and she knew soon there would be only void. He pulled away a little, still holding her inches away. It hurts that you don't believe me, he said. You don't believe that I would come back, that I am not leaving you. How can you be so sure, she asked, her voice wet. Now you are here, but there, in a big new world, everything is different. You will meet new people, new women. You will leave Latvia in the past, and that's the right thing to do. You still don't see it, he whispered, a hurt written on his face. I love you. Stop. She was angry. Don't you dare say those words to me when there won't be a trace of you in a week. Don't toss your love in my hands and run. Something unfamiliar glinted in his eyes, a coldness that was there and gone. I will come back in a year, and you will say the reciprocal words to me then, because I know it. I see it, that you love me. I see it in your eyes, in your anger. He wrapped his hands around her again, making her dizzy. I feel it in the rhythm of your heart, Sophia. You are mine. And as she found his lips, her hands clinging to them, she whispered, I am. I love that. I love that. The draw that you made between Daniel, who becomes Daniel, and Sophia, that draw is so powerful.
Yes. And that it's even difficult to that it's love for Sophia. Maybe it's not love, but just a kind of newness, new feeling, new man. Yes, and you need to see what will the next episode be.
Yes,
but I love this,
because that's actually that it is, and that's actually only the beginning of their story. There's so much more to come between the two of them.
Yes.
So Mark says, lovely writing, really wonderful prose.
Thank you. And especially when I'm not a native speaker, it's difficult for me to write in a way that seems like American way, because I tend to write long sentences just separated by commas, and then like Grammarly will say that it's too long. You need to break them. And for me, it's just long sentences, like in a, I don't know, like in a Russian prose or something. So it's difficult.
Well, you've done a great job. I mean, you've written 2 books that are now going to be published, and then a third in April, and that's just amazing work.
Thank you.
So in such a short period of time to have 3 books coming out is just amazing.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Well, I think you're succeeding. I think you're doing a great job, and we're very excited about all of your books that are coming out. The One Woman has done very well and continues to sell, and I think I See You in My Dreams is going to hit its mark as well.
Yes, I hope so.
I hope
It's
so
different.
too.
It's different. It's I think it's much more layered than my first book, than the One Woman.
Yes.
But still, I love all my stories. They're just different.
They are all different, but they all have their own audience. And I do think that anyone who like the One Woman will like I See You in My Dreams. It's a different read, but it's strong writing and it's an amazing story that really grabs you. So it's something that you don't want to miss out on.
Yeah.
So, well, we are very excited about this book. And we have something else coming out from you in April. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we have to come?
Yes, but it's completely also different story. I wanted to explore. I love triangles, and I hope one day I will write an ideal life triangle. But I tried it in the third book. It didn't work. But it's a story with a polyamorous relationship.
Yes.
And it is kind of interesting background, because I dreamed about it. So it came up from a dream, and it's a story of young woman who met a brother and a sister, and all the mess that broke out after this. Yes, but it's different, but I love it. I love it. It will be out in April.
Yes, it's an amazing story as well, and I really like how you put a polyamorous relationship in there, because you don't see that very often, and when you do see it, it's not always done well. But in this, I think it was done very well, and it was very unique, because when you see polyamorous, you don't always see a brother and a sister in a polyamorous relationship.
Yes, hopefully it doesn't trigger anyone, but it didn't work as I wished it would work. It's leading into a usual romance, I think. But I tried to make it polyamorous.
And I think you have those elements in there, and then it's also a story that it's just very unique in itself, that has the suspense elements to it and some sadness, and
yes,
I just like the way that it played out. But that comes out in April, so we're very excited about that one. So
yes.
if anyone has, we have some more viewers. If anyone has some questions, put them in the comment section. Anything you want to ask Laura, or anything you're wondering about I See You in My Dreams, or the One Woman that is already out, or Do You Wish You Never Met Me, which comes out in April. So this book is gorgeous. I love this cover. Our cover artist, Diana, did another fabulous job with it. It was absolutely gorgeous.
I still don't have it, but I'm just...
Yeah. Well, I See You in My Dreams comes out on Tuesday. So it is available for pre-order right now wherever books are sold. Kat says beautiful cover and beautiful story. Thank you, Kat, for that comment.
Thank you.
So but this comes out on Tuesday. It's an ebook and in paperback wherever books are sold. And pick yours up. Make sure you want a paperback if possible, because it is gorgeous to put on your bookshelf. I love how that cover turned out. So, but we are very excited about this book and this launch.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before?
I just hope that readers will enjoy the story, because I love it. I love to write in it, and I love characters, beautiful and bad characters. There are some, but yes, I just hope that readers will feel something from reading it. And,
I think they will, because like I said, it stuck with me. I can't see why it wouldn't stick with other readers.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming. We're very happy to have this book out in the world, and we're excited to see what it does. And we will be back the very end of February for another YA Paranormal from Vicki Ann Bush, which releases the very last week of February. So we will be back then. But thank everyone for tuning in. And please follow Lara on social media. She's really big on Instagram. So find her there, follow her there, and purchase some of her books and enjoy her wonderful stories. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.